Good evening, everybody, and here we are in November 2023 as I record this. I hope you're all having a good start to the month. I am. It was my birthday yesterday, so I'm all upbeat as we speak. Um, Today, as you know, I'm a gut health expert, but today I wanted to focus on pomegranate. Why? Because it's National Pomegranate Month, so why not focus on this beautiful fruit at this time of year? And tonight I want to relate that to gut health. We know quite a lot about pomegranates now and their beautiful role in supporting gut health. So as it's National Pomegranate Month, let's focus on this beautiful fruit in relation to supporting gut health. Of course, it's got many other benefits as well, but I wanted to focus on that tonight. Um, Now, I'm really focusing on the seeds. The seeds we get from that hard shell. We have to carefully prise them out. They can be a bit tricky. They're very juicy. When you're trying to get them out with a fork, they can be a bit tricky. You may wonder if it's worth the effort, but I promise you it really is worth the effort. But if you find it just too difficult to work with a pomegranate whole to get the seeds out, well, maybe this is where it's worth a little bit extra money to buy the seeds already taken out of their shell, so you can just eat handfuls as and when you might want to. So they're beautiful, juicy little seeds that have a lot of benefits. And let's start first of all with regards to gut health with their fiber content. Now, a typical portion of pomegranate seeds, if you're buying them in a container, or say about 80 grams, is a really good portion of pomegranate to have as one of your servings. Not going to use 5 a day because we should be aiming for 10 a day. Will provide about 4 to 5, 4.5 grams of fiber. Now, in the UK, the average fiber intake is about 18 grams, yet the recommended fiber intake for our optimal health and gut health is 30 grams. So if you eat a serving of pomegranate, you're going a really long way towards getting towards your optimal 30 grams of fiber a day. We don't need nearly enough fiber in the Western diet, and having these beautiful seeds is just one of the ways to get that fiber. Of course, when I'm focusing on pomegranate, I'm not talking about the juice. You're not going to get any of your fiber from the juice, and potentially not any or most of the other benefits I'm going to talk about. Now, when you're thinking about the fiber in pomegranate, it is predominantly insoluble fiber. We get different types of fiber. Every type of fiber is important. So most of the fiber in a pomegranate is insoluble. When you think of a pomegranate, they're quite tough little cookies, aren't they? They're quite rich in cellulose, that tougher wall when you're eating them. So that's where you get this insoluble fiber from. Now, we need insoluble fiber to help keep that bowel regularity for optimal transit time. We don't want transit time being too fast, but equally, we don't want it being too slow. It also helps to add bulk to the stool. We need a combination of insoluble and soluble, and with the pomegranate is mostly that insoluble fiber. So it's a great way to get that fiber in, supporting bowel regularity and good transit time overall. So that's the first thing with regards to pomegranate and gut health. The second thing is an area that I'm really quite passionate about. I talk a lot about how we feed the gut microbiome. We talk a lot now about prebiotic fibers. I've done posts around what's the difference between prebiotics and probiotics. Well, the prebiotics, and when we talk about prebiotic fibers, we're talking about fibers that feed good gut bacteria, and they act as the fuel for good bacteria. Now, in pomegranate, they contain these compounds, these plant compounds called polyphenols. Now, when we think about polyphenols as these metabolites, they act as a protective shield, or are produced in response to the plant's protective mechanism to protect the plant potentially against pests or other pathogens that could be damaging the plant. And they produce these compounds called polyphenols to protect the plant. We now know these also go on to protect our cells. So first and foremost, they act as antioxidants, help protect against inflammation. not just in the gut, but elsewhere. But when we think about the gut, we know we can get oxidative damage in the gut barrier, those cells get worn away very quickly. We don't want to get any oxidative stress with the gut wall and the gut barrier. It could lead to inflammation. That inflammation could lead to gaps and damage to that cell gut barrier that leads to this thing that we call leaky gut, intestinal permeability, which allows toxicity and compounds that are damaging from the gut, they can pass through into the bloodstream. So we want to maintain a very robust and healthy gut barrier. And the compounds in pomegranate act as these good antioxidants. They're also rich in vitamin C and really, really good anti-inflammatory compounds as well, really helping to keep the gut and the gut mucosal barrier healthy. Now, talking about the polyphenols a bit more, as I said, they selectively feed certain bacterial strains. We've got lots of different types of bacteria. They're all going to feed off different things. So they selectively feed some of the good bacteria. And when the bacteria feed off these plant compounds called polyphenols that we find rich in pomegranate, then they in turn give off secondary metabolites known as butyrate. Now, butyrate is known as a short-chain fatty acid, but just think of this butyrate, again, going on as this secondary metabolite to then go on and feed other beneficial bacteria. This is why we know they all work together and synergistically. We can't have some and not the other of these bacteria in our gut. Butyrate is also very important for protecting and supporting this healthy gut mucosal barrier, helping protect against intestinal permeability. So we need polyphenols for its antioxidant compounds, anti-inflammatory compounds, prebiotic properties for feeding good bacteria. We want the fiber to keep a healthy transit time, and collectively these all help to support a very, very healthy gut overall. The gut barrier helping protect against things like bowel cancer, one of the ways in which we can help protect against that. So how can we incorporate pomegranate? Well, one of the beauties, I think, of pomegranate is how you can use it in a savoury dish as well as in a sweet dish. Now, in a savoury dish, you could add pomegranate to lots of different types of salad, works really, really well. The other way I like to use pomegranate is sprinkled on the top of porridge, or as a different type of breakfast. I'll often eat coconut yogurt. I'll eat different types of fruit, but I'll add pomegranate into my yogurt mixed with some nuts and seeds. So that's a really lovely way to add a good serving of pomegranate into your diet. Don't just think about pomegranate. Let me just finish on a note to make it really helpful for you. Talking about these wonderful compounds called polyphenols, we do find them in other fruit and vegetables. Predominantly, we think about this rich red color, dark red, purple type colors. So lots of different types of berries, red wine in moderation, dark chocolate in moderation, in green tea, in apples, in cherries, and in plums and in black rice. So generally you can see it's those darker colors where we find these polyphenol rich foods. So of course, always aiming for an abundance of different colors. But as it's National Pomegranate Month, go away, add some pomegranate to your basket, or just eating them on their own. They're not overly sweet, so they're not going to really upset your blood sugar levels. But think about adding them into your foods that you're eating during the day. Hope you found that useful. Go away and enjoy pomegranates, and of course lots of other dark red berries, a little bit of red wine here and there this weekend maybe. It is more wintry time. I find red wine more appealing in the winter. And have a great week, everybody. Look forward to seeing you all next week on my live.